Bryce Harper and Spencer Strider probably aren't the best of friends right now, and neither are Braves fans and the replay system because they were tossing cans onto the field after a catcher's interference call. This failed stolen base attempt by the Orioles, it might have cost them their entire season, and postseason Clayton Kershaw, unfortunately, he was back on the bump yesterday. Now, just a reminder, MLB Recap is presented by SeatGeek, so if you're going to any playoff games or football games anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks using code Fuzzy. And also, for a limited time, using code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy will give you a $500 deposit match, and new users, they will unlock a 1-yard Patrick Mahomes special, and these are my plays for baseball today, so make sure you guys don't miss out. Game number 1, we have the Rangers in Camden Yards, and man, Orioles fans, they really know how to show up and throw a party for a playoff game, but this Evan Carter kid, he is no joke. He makes it 1-0 off of Kyle Bradish. Evan Carter is off to one of the best playoff starts by anyone ever. Jonah Heim, he clutched up right after, and Ryan Mountcastle, he finally helped out his pitcher with an RBI double down the line, and Bradish, he was pretty good after that. He struck out like 9 Rangers. He turned it up a notch with a velo and spin, so it's still 2-1 into the 6th when rookie all-star Josh Young, he sent one out. Texas, they are built for the future with captains like Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. They have stud rookies everywhere. Now, Anthony Santander and Austin Hayes, they stole back some momentum. Santander on a solo home run, and Austin Hayes, he was flying out there to end the 7th inning. Now, both teams, they're trying to steal back momentum, and Aroldis Chapman, he tried to give some momentum back to the Orioles. I genuinely thought that he was going to blow this for Texas, but there's a clutch double play, and then he unleashed a 101-mile-per-hour fastball to end the threat. He was feeling himself after that. Now, speaking of threats, Gunnar, he got on in the 9th, and there he goes. You just can't run on Jonah Heim. Brandon Hyde, after the game, he is the manager of the Orioles. He said there was a miscommunication. I don't know if it was on Gunnar Henderson or Aaron Hicks because he didn't swing. Maybe it was a hit and run. Either way, Jose Leclerc, he got the save, and the Rangers pick up game number 1. Game number 2 is going to be Jordan Montgomery versus Grayson Rodriguez. That should be a lot of fun. So the Astros are doing Astros things, and of course they are because the month of October is here. Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez, they were built to mash in the playoffs. Altuve on the very first pitch of the game, there he goes, and Yordan, he hit his first of 2 on the night, so do not go anywhere. He had a second home run later on. Now JV, he's been kind of like Kershaw. He's been very hit or miss in the postseason, but he was great in this one. His lineup gave him a few more insurance runs in the 5th with Jose Abreu and Chas McCormick both driving in an RBI on some singles. Justin Verlander, he came out after 6 dominant frames. He struck out 6, only allowed 4 base hits. And here comes Minnesota. Hector Neris, he fully forgot that his job is to get outs. That is a 3-run moonshot to Jorge Polanco. Make it back-to-back home runs. Royce Lewis, he has 3 home runs already in the playoffs. Now it's just a 1-run game. Brian Abreu, he was called in to clean up the mess. And of course he did it because Brian Abreu was quietly a top 10 relief pitcher, including closing pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. There's Yordan again. He's still just 26 years old. Abreu, he got to Presley, and postseason Ryan Presley, he was back at it. He was throwing 97 miles an hour. He's allowed one run over his last 25 playoff innings. The Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley duo is one of the most unfair combinations in playoff baseball history. Game 2, it's going to be Pablo Lopez versus Framber Valdez. The 702 boys put the Phillies on their backs to start this one. Now, 702 is the Las Vegas area code. You guys know I'm from Vegas, so this is so sick to me. Bryson Stott, he poked one the other way for another RBI. And before we show Bryce Harper going off, shout out to Ranger Suarez. He allowed 1 hit on 4 strikeouts. He has a 0.98 ERA in the playoffs over the last 2 seasons, but he was taken out in favor of a better matchup apparently. But Hoffman, he walked Ozuna. A bases loaded situation of Michael Harris, who's been hitting like 330 over his last 100 games, but Hoffman, he got it done. Bryce, he hit Strider with a little deja vu because in Bryce Harper's final plate appearance versus Strider in the regular season, pretty much same pitch, same result, and then it happened again in the playoffs. Trey Turner, he heard all of the critics saying he was a below average shortstop, and he still is defensively, but that's an insane play to basically end Atlanta's night. Kimbrel, he converted the save, and for the first time in 2023, the Atlanta Braves, they were shut out at home. Now, we did have some drama because earlier in the 8th inning, JT Realmuto, he was handed a free RBI after his bat just barely hit Sean Murphy's glove lace. Not his glove per se, the lace. Braves fans, they were not happy because on the replay, it kind of looked like nothing happened and they were tossing cans onto the field. But guys, look at Sean Murphy's reaction. He instantly pulled his glove back. He was mad at himself. You gotta be a better liar, I guess. Being a good person in the playoffs is not gonna get you anywhere. I hate saying this, but it's not October unless we get one of these Kershaw memes, and fortunately for Arizona fans, and unfortunately for LA fans, It happened again. Kershaw turned into a pumpkin, and I mean, he didn't get much help from James Outman. That ball should have been caught, and Corbin, he said, hey, thanks, I'll take an RBI. More on Corbin in just a second, because this Gabriel Moreno kid, he's got ice in his veins. After Christian Walker doubled and Corbin, Moreno, I mean, I don't believe that this ball only went 419 feet. I don't buy that at all. Former postseason hero for the Tampa Bay Rays, Evan Longoria, he doubled in another, and bye-bye Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw has a career 2.48 ERA in the regular season and a 4.5 ERA in the playoffs. Corbin Carroll, he wants some respect put on his name. He wants to be known as a top 10 player, not just in the playoffs, but all of Major League Baseball, and I think that he is. I don't care what you say. He just knows when it's gone. Lourdes, he doubled in another, and Dodgers fans, they were kind of mad at Mookie Betts because he was laughing and chopping it up with Lourdes Gurriel down 8-zip. Alec Thomas and Tommy Pham, they both launched solo home runs in Arizona. They're going to easily win game number 1. So some fun facts from Fuzzy. Merrill Kelly, he was 0 for 11 with a 5 ERA versus the Dodgers. So his 6 1/3 shutout masterclass gave him his first career W against the Dodgers. And Tommy Pham, he had 3 base hits before Dodgers shortstop Miguel Rojas even had his first at bat. Now we're going to do today's Immaculate Grid in just a second, but real quick, I have to show you guys a quote from the Mariners GM. I think his name is Jerry Dipoto. He made Mariners fans so mad because he said the goal for Seattle is to win 54% of their games, and that they're doing fans a favor by doing that. Why? These are real quotes.
If you go back and you look in a decade, those teams that win 54% of the time always wind up in the postseason, and they more often than not wind up in World Series. So there's your bigger picture process. Nobody wants to hear the goal this year is we're going to win 54% of the time, because sometimes 54% is one year you're going to win 60%, another year you're going to win 50%. It's whatever it is. But over time, that type of mindset gets you there. If what you're doing is focusing year to year on what do we have to do to win the World Series this year, you might be one of the teams that's laying in the mud and can't get up for another decade. So we're actually doing the fan base a favor and asking for their patience to win the World Series while we continue to build a sustainably good roster.
I understand what he was trying to say, like he wants to build a winner over time, not someone that can win one year and then completely get dismantled the next year. I get what he's saying, but he just said it so poorly. You're doing your fans a service by aiming to win barely half of your games. Okay, today's Immaculate Grid, I might be able to get this done in under like 45 seconds or something. So 3, 2, we have Moniak. Oh God, see, my thing is I can't really type that well. Moniak, we have Sizemore. I know that one just because he's he is my favorite player of all time. A Philly and Gibson. Kyle. See, my thing is I can't type. I'm going to cost myself. Here we go. We have a Rocky Crone, CJ Crone. We have a Rocky and a Randall. No. Who am I thinking? Ubaldo Jimenez. I know that he was on both teams. We have Orioles and Rockies. I could have gone Ubaldo. We're going to go Figgins. I feel like Figgins is a good one. Figgins, Brantley, here we go. Michael Brantley. I could have gone Travis Hafner. Let's go Nick Markakis. I feel like I'm actually slow with this one because of my typing. Rockies and Orioles. Chris Ionetta. Wasn't he on both teams? He wasn't! I should have gone with Ubaldo Jimenez for the Rockies and the Orioles and Carlos Gonzalez for the Rockies and the Guardians, or I could have gone Nolan Jones as well. How did I not get those guys? They're some of my favorite players ever.